Sorry, mic was, not on. Hello. Yeah, sorry, Lack. I was working on something, but all G. All G now. I didn't think that thing was gonna take, like, 20 minutes, so. Also, let me put my mic closer to me so y'all can actually hear me. Hi, how are you guys today? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were, like, on break or something. I just figured I'd put the screen up and then whenever I finished what I was doing. But have a good day at work. I'll talk to you later. Sorry, my mic is not in my proper position today. I did not plan very well. Ugh. Okay. Woo! Mayakashi? Beloved cutthroat. I don't like the sound of that at all. Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi. When they cry Kai, we finally reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrator. I still hate the baby. Still hate the baby. Skipping all choices, just doing the story. She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean, so the girl cried. How many years will pass before the girl wonders if they dropped them? I couldn't even read that! It's a work of fiction, obviously. Okay, does it say in the log? No, it does not. Okay. Well, I think I read most of that. It's not fair. They should have made that a little slower so I could read it. And that's okay, Pred. No problem. I hope your collab goes well with whatever you're collabing for. Any particular phrase you want again? For your kawaii? I was trying to look at some cute phrases when I made it. It's offline. Okay. Let me just Google a list of cute Japanese phrases. I don't like any of those. These are long phrases. Where are the cutesy little, like... Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna say literally kawaii. Kawaii desu ne. Because I can't think of anything else to say, and these lists are not showing any good ones. Whatever. Seven keys were attached to the keychain. 7. Without knowing the key... oh my god, it's already begun. I can't talk already. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key, one by one. On average, I'd reach the correct key within 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys, and I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only on the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness, my head ached from it. I put the key in and turned it. I just needed to repeat the small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn, even a 3-year-old kid can do something this easy. So, am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Whatever, I don't care if I'm clumsy. I just need to try all these keys. Even if the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try. Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than my worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. So SHION, I believe, is our main protagonist this time around. Did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely see a faint marking that says this set is for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would be a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen at any moment. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administrative office? If there were no other choice, it'd be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administrative office won't necessarily be empty this time. Somebody might come in. I won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. I stood up quickly, as if electrified. I was almost in a panic and so felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be here, and it's also dangerous if somebody comes into this administration office. I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible to repress my fear. Calm down, SHION. Mion wouldn't panic in a situation like this. Well, obviously you're not Mion, are you? Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? The next moment, I felt a faint vibration in the air. Somebody was walking somewhere in the hallway. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them, since the footsteps were very far away. But at the time, I couldn't think clearly is what I was going to say, but calmly is the word that's on the screen. Ah, shit. Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down, calm down. I should be feeling excited instead. Calm down, calm down. I just need to do what I have to do. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Ah, shit. This key should be hard and cold, but it's pliable and hot. It feels like rubber. How could I stick this into the keyhole? Shit, shit, shit. It wasn't the key that was pliable. It's my fingers that were limp. She says shit a lot. Ah, shit, shit, shit. This key sprung out of my hand and fell to the floor. Shouldn't have made any sound, because it was so pliable, but it made a tremendous metal noise as if somebody pushed over a cupboard. Cling! The sound almost stopped my heart. I felt dizzy for a while. I looked around afterwards to carefully see if I had caused any disturbance in the surroundings. Calm down, calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Wait. I don't hear anything? What about those footsteps in the distance? Calm down, calm down, calm Calm down. KK, bye, Pred. See you later. Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Oh, shit. What is that sound I'm hearing? Is it my sweat dripping on the floor? Shut up, shut up, shut up. How could I hear the sound of my sweat? Calm down. Calm down, calm down. Calm the fuck down. I have to clarify. This isn't a prison or a detention center. It's a private school. Not a normal one, though. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. Being for girls only rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying how nice to see you instead of just hi is already insane, and calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. I hate the morning and evening prayers, to say nothing of the Sunday Mass. I don't want to memorize the Bible passages, and the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. I agree. If I stayed in this institution, that's what I call the place, for many years I'd either go crazy or be brainwashed. Or both. Most of the girls choose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God which the Bible teaches. Because of that, I'd been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later on? After examining my emotions, I realized that I'm completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending became fun once I'd set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence that I started to behave religiously. Wow. I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight because there were many daughters of important people living there. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders ironically also worked to prevent escapes. But that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. No matter how hard they tried to brainwash me, I'd never change. I've been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible obstacles and trained myself. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes, even the long-distance runs. I needed a perfect plan as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also supported by those things, I needed determination. I made sure that I had all that I needed and executed the plan. I decided to plant a seed in school before the appointed day. Oh hey, it's the same apartment that, what's-his-face was in. Akasaka was in last episode. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into the details now, but that can turn into an enormous problem in this school. The school is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kind of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. If the romance was a fact and was leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame. In fact, even that might not be enough. In the world of girls, rumors spread fast. Especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of that kind of rumor, and they warn the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means that I managed to make them furtively deal with something shady without contacting families or the authorities. Ayaya! Hi, Pandora! So if I disappeared in these circumstances, it looked like I ran away with some teacher. All the male teachers would deny it, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. After all, there's a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all the other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. I tried hard to spread the rumor that I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible. Sisters questioned me a few times, but since the romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. After 3 months, I was certain that I created a solid foundation. I swapped after-dinner duties with my classmates so that I could adjust my schedule on this day. I was even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect I ran away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to a sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour tops, but that's enough for me. I'm a Sonozaki. I can do anything. So they think. I'm decent, Pandora. How are you? Glad to see you. I took a step off my regular route. That was the first step toward my great escape. Throw it away, forget yesterday. We'll make the great escape. Sorry. I calmed down and thought. I really needed to do a karaoke, apparently. The key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I put the right one in, but the lock was just stiff, and I only thought I got the wrong one? I realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing, to avoid leaving fingerprints, must be getting in the way, too. Paperwork? Ew! That sounds gross. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought of giving up, I felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, healthcare is a pain in the ass. I can totally understand that. I slowly opened the door. I could hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now. But somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. See? You hear the difference? Those are crickets, guys. Those are crickets. Higurashi are completely different. I could still make excuses up to this point. It might look awkward, but I still can. But if I take a step outside now, there can be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have been escape attempts before. That's not really so strange. I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people before who couldn't fit into this place. Yeah, I'm too gay for private school. Actually, I might be the perfect amount of gay, because even though it's all religious, like, they're all freaking girls, so the options, man, the options. So the school is well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while attempting to escape. I don't want to believe any of those stories, though. It's all about perspective, Pandora. It's all about perspective. I would hate the, society, but, there would be some props. There would be some pros to that. You see, all the school's horror stories involved students who attempted escape. Of course they did. Whatever, bring it on. I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway. Whoa, that music. There'll always only be one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I psyched myself up and pushed the doors open. Oh. A strong smell was hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? I'd never smelled this strong grassy smell before. Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. The smell is something I smell every day. I just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Oh, that's a good CG. Calm down. Calm down, SHION. I can rely only on the map inside my head from this point onward. I'd researched the locations of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident that I'll be able to avoid all of them, but I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly, after all. I have to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places. But there's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. I concentrate to keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move if I'm lucky. Damn. After all that effort, it just boils down to luck? Ahaha, this is a gamble after all. When I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test the determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape from this school, that means they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. 'Cause you're a Sonozaki. I'm going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes, SHION. I ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs, it was my own heartbeat. Crunch. Even my own footsteps were so loud they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overactive imagination tormented me with premonitions of unexpected run-ins with guards. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. But I broke into a run. If I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running at a time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. But if the footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on even letting them hear those footsteps. I tried to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I don't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried that my senses might not be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me, without me being aware of it. I don't want to make any noises, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. To stop or to run, something within me urged me to choose from either one. I can't choose to stop. I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I know that. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. I succeed in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and carefully tackled the final step. The beautiful-looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapees. While I was worried that somebody might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It's even possible that this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. Doesn't mean anything now since I'm already climbing up. From the top, the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to go down carefully just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. I got scared because the flight was longer than I expected. I didn't land beautifully. I fell onto my butt. Of course you did. Before there was anyone around to laugh, but there was nobody around to laugh, and I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. Hi, nerd! Welcome to stream! I looked at my watch. 5 minutes till 8 p.m. I was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really makes it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I worried too much. But I can't be too relaxed just yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until this rendezvous. Rendezvous with who? Who? Oh! Rin! Thank you so much for the raid! Thank you so much! Aw, thank you, Pandora. I was going to do that. Thank you so much! Catnip raid. Oh, that's so cute! You were playing Legend of Heroes. That sounds really interesting. I've heard of that before. Did you have fun? Did you like it? Yeah, I've watched the anime too, at least the first season, and that's why I was interested to play it, because it's really different. And there's a lot of context here you don't get in the actual anime, so I recommend it. It's very, very long, though, so you're in for a long haul. I'm on chapter 5 now, and out of 8, I believe. And I'm already like 26 parts in, so You're in for a long haul if you want to play it. But it's very, very fun, and I enjoy it. But I'm glad you had fun. Did your stream go well? It is a long game. It's a lot of reading. Oh, sorry. I didn't read that. Sorry. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. I thought I'd experienced a surge of school memories in a situation like this. But it didn't happen. The sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. Same, my voice is hoarse right now, so I feel you on that. I've thought of picking up Legend of Heroes, but, like, I have issues with money right now, so I can't be picking up too many games. But I'm really glad you enjoyed it. And that your stream went well. You deserve it. I have no good memories of this school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine, Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. What to say, she's not at the rendezvous point, is she? What's she doing laughing? The idiot. At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched in the darkness. Is Legend of Heroes, like, a visual novel thing? I thought it was like a RPG. I've only seen, like, art of it, though. I have no idea what it's actually about. I crouched in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in. Ah, little cat! Little cat, double raids! Little cat, thank you so much! You're the best! I love you! Aww. You're so cute! Thank you! How did Cuphead go? Did you have fun? Kasai.
SHION-san.
I'm assuming Sonozaki, like, security dude. Cool. Hello, hello! Thank you for the raid! Thank you so much! The driver was a man of early old age. I got double cat raids today. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked in my face and learned that I succeeded. He smiled. Whoa, her voice actor! Whoa! Aw, no problem, little cat. Thank you so much for raiding. I'll see you later. I really will see you later. We're gonna be in voice chat later. So, bye-bye. Oh, burger sounds so good. Oh my goodness. Bye-bye. Be safe, going home. Aw, Dylan! Dylan! Thank you so much for subscribing! I love you so much! Thank you! Now you're up there with Pandora. Hello, Cap. I love how we have a witch captain now. Aw, Sugar Madness, thank you so much for following! You guys are so nice today! I'm gonna cry! Almost to 100 follows. I mean, not quite almost 100 follows, but I'm definitely over half. I'm over 3/4 to 100, so... Pandora's a better Hunt player than you. I've never played Hunt, but I'm gonna take your word on that. Were you guys playing together, or were you watching Pandora's stream? Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. Oh, okay, gotcha. I did see he was streaming that the other day, but I didn't have the time to watch. I disappeared so quick that I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. I have a feeling she's not upset about them. I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. That sounds good. I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Aha! Ah! I was right! That's what she was gonna say! Oh, I'm such a genius! I see witchy things. I can tell the future, guys. Nice. That sounds fun. I hope you enjoy it if you do get to stream it. Serves you right. Oh, Rinny! Thank you so much for following me on Twitter. I love it when people actually use my links. As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and few streetlights. It reminded me that this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe. Am I following you on Twitter? I should follow you on Twitter if I'm not. Not Discord. I have a Discord too, but that's not what I'm looking for right now. I am following you now. Haha. I just happened to check my phone and saw that notification. Yeah, same. I also try to follow back as well if I notice someone followed me, especially if I know them in person and they have interacted with me before. It reminded me that this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe. She just said she wants a burger. I'm assuming that she's hungry. Yeah, Pandora, you should use your Twitter more, so you can follow all my stuff. You have to support your local witch, Captain. I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat much at dinner to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I'm kidding. I know. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to hit my desk. Sorry. I know you follow me. You do enough support on Twitch. You don't need to be on Twitter. I'm joking. I'm obviously joking. I appreciate Kasai's offer. My one and only mod, Pandora, does a lot of work for me. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory. Don't flip me off. How rude. The goat mod. Hamburger vending machines? What the fuck is Japan? Hamburger vending machines? What? That's a thing? I want one in my house. That sounds fantastic. Huh? Huh? That's what I said. Odin too, yeah. Like, how is that a thing? In a can? Okay, let me block this person. Cha-cha. Vending machines for everything. Apparently so. Comes in a can? How does a burger come in a can? How does that work? No, it's fine. I'm able to... I'm used to banning people by myself. I haven't seen a lot of bot messages recently.
嫌なもんは嫌なの。
But they do filter in every now and again.
うっさいな。もう何笑ってんの？
Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative.
私疲れちゃったよ。少し寝させてもらいます。これリクライニングどうやって倒すの？
そっちの左側の根元を探ってみてください。レバーみたいなのがありません。
あったあった。よっこらしょっと。
I still have a hard time believing that SHION and Mion have the same voice actor. Because it's such a dramatic change in voice that it's hard to believe. Kasai laughed again.
何か面白いこと私した？
いえいえ。
Yeah.
よっこらしょなんていう若くない言葉遣いがどことなくミオンさんに似ておられたもので。
Yeah, I was just talking about that. Well, obviously, Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way.
お姉は元気？
That's not true.
多
They're
分
completely
元気だと
different. Like, personality-wise.
私も親族会議の席に親父さんをお連れするときに少しすれ違う程度ですし。
そっか。お姉はもう実家じゃないんだったね。ひなみ沢のばあさんのとこだっけ？
シオンさんが学園に入られるのと一緒の時期に
That was
そ
a
の先本
mistake.
家に移られました。
She's gonna go psycho! If she isn't already at this point. I responded with disinterest, even though I was the one to ask her about her. I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oryu, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. I was about to call her an old bat, but... The sub does not, but I will eventually get the revenue off the subs, so it does help in the long run. But the Heather art goal is a separate thing, so you have to donate via the Streamlabs, which is linked in my About channel. It's if you see the little donations panel, just click on that, and it'll pull up the Streamlabs tab for you to donate there. Which will go directly to me. Yeah. It's all good. It's all G. But when we use the phrase, the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing. Yeah, I know, I never get everything because, you know, freaking... Something has to get a cut of everything I do, whether it's taxes or corporations or other things. But it's fine. At least I get something. I wasn't getting anything before, so something's better than nothing, you know?
少しは変わった？
Freaking taxes, man. I get a sign-on bonus. I just started my new job this week. I get a sign-on bonus, but I just learned that they tax the shit out of it. So, like, I'm supposed to get $400, right, off of that. 200 of that, which is what I get when my first week of pay, is what I'm supposed to get 200 then, but I'm only going to be getting like 165. So they're taking that much out because of freaking taxes. I'm like, God damn, man. I thought this was going to be cool. I guess it's $165 more than I had before, but still.
Mion-sanがですか?
Like $35 in taxes, just gone.
あのばあさんと朝から晩まで顔を合わせてりゃ。
I feel like if it's a bonus thing, it shouldn't be taxed. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a special, like, offer. Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma.
私が見る限り変わったようには感じません。シオンさんの知っているミオンさんのままですよ。
Oh, also, because you're, like, only the second subscriber, Pandora will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, like, the first 10 10 subscribers get the Founders Badge, so you'll get a Founders Badge from me for the rest of your life, as long as I'm streaming, I guess.
私はどう？
Hey, the first 10! I'm so good!
私は変わった？
いいえ。
I'm shocked I remembered that, to be honest. Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. I glared at him, and then he burst out laughing.
全然変わっておられませんよ。あれだけのお嬢様学校に入られたのに、全く変わらないというのは驚くに値します。
Yeah, you're so cool with that little badge. Look at you go. Look at you go.
Jade!
You're part of the Journey Squad now.
好きなだけ笑ってろ。
That's what I need to call. That's what I'll call my subscribers. The Journey Squad. There we go.
私は寝るよ。寝る。
後ろの席に毛布がありますよ。
All my followers are the pack, obviously, but my subscribers get a special title.
使ってください。
うん、ありがとう。
Arigato. I am going to be, with the Heather Journey art, if you guys get this donation, I'll probably extend it as well. I just need enough money to be able to pay for all the art. But I am going to be making subscriber-only emotes for you guys, so... Well, not making, but, you know, commissioning for someone to make. I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. Aw, thank you so much, Rinny! I hope to see you around soon! Thank you so much for the raid! And the lurk, I appreciate it. I hope you have the great rest of your day. Your artist is so expensive. I feel that. I really feel that. The artist that I usually use, I use a few different ones, but the artist I usually use isn't too bad, but it's still expensive regardless. And honestly, they deserve all the money they get for what they do, so. But it's just like, damn, my wallet! I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself.
寝る。私は寝るよ。
Pay them in exposures? What do you mean by that, Dylan?
はいはい、さっきからもう3回目です。それとも私が許可しないと寝れないんですか？
今日のあんたは喋りすぎ。あんたが少し黙っててくんないと眠気も引っ込んじゃう。
失礼しました、姫君。ではしばらく黙らせてもらいます。
I should give them free subscriptions if they do my art, right? Free subscription to my channel. Free Heather, I don't know, voice tweets or whatever. This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okinomiya. I got it. A lifetime supply of ara-aras. That's what I can pay them in. Perfect. Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the dam protests back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever find out what I did, I'd never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Hinamizawa would be off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. It was a war. It might have also been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the riot police with everybody. We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station, demanding the release of our arrested comrades. Oh, the little voice challenge things. Yeah. Like trying to do different voices of the same, like from the same franchise or something. Yeah. I don't know how you would like do that with Ara, but I'm sure I could make it work. I would do it for art. I would do it for Heather art. Indeed. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members, even though they were strangers to me, and that memory warms my heart. Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everyone to carry a secret palanquin? I'm not sure what that is. Through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together. Until we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying young men who worked for my dad out of the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. I didn't feel any different, though, than when I was being called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. Hey! Good job, Pandora! Nice. Now you can just sit and chillax, right? The other villagers were furious about the dam project. But for those of us who were kids at the time, it was a pretty fun memory. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only the power of the protest that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson in order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yagochi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. The year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated. Now you have to wait for a background test and a drug test. Are you, like, getting a new job or something? Or are you waiting on that information from somebody else? But they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They'd do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Ooh, nice! Congrats! I hope it's a good job. It was easy to deceive the police. Gah. The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. It must have run over a bump or something. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. I must be looking forward to going home.
SHION-san?
Yeah, that generally means you're hired. Generally.
起きてますか?
I didn't even really need to do an official interview for this job that I'm in now. They're just like, okay, cool, show up at orientation at like, 8 o'clock. And I was like, okay. And I went in and did orientation for a week, and they said, oh, you're still here? Well, you're hired now. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Nani?
You start next week training. I'm like, okay,
お
cool.
帰りですが、沖宮でよろしいですよね?
他にどこに帰んのよ。
They're always looking for people, though, so... I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
シオンさんを全寮制の学園に入学させる決定は、園崎本家当主が下したものです。シオンさんはその学園を抜け出した。どういうことかお分かりですね。
Oof. She gonna
ばあ
get
さんの決めた
yelled
学校
at!
が私に合わなかったってだけでしょ。
シオンさん。
わーってるって。うっさいな。
She's a little brat. As the head of the Sonozaki family, the hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. SHION was the name they gave me. My sister Mion has a character that means demon in her name. That was to signify that she's the successor of demons. A fellow Heather Journey founder. You guys found me. I'm so happy you found me. I was so lost. Just a lost little witchy wolf wandering the woods. All alone and cold. Yeah, he has been here a while. He really has. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. I had someone tell me that, like, as soon as I get affiliate, that they would, like, subscribe and be my founder, and I was like, okay, cool. And they have yet to show up to a stream since I've got affiliates, so feels bad. My name SHION has a character that means temple in it. That means that I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. Thinking of that reminds me of how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as SHION is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family, as it meant that the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. Aw, thanks, Pandora. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was able to One of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. Thank you, Dylan. Unbelievable, isn't it? What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. That's savage. But, I mean, this is Hinamizawa, and these are the Sonozakis we're talking about. I can totally see them doing that. They are ruthless. And that's putting it lightly. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Yeah, SHION, they weren't supposed to have 2 of them. There was only supposed to be 1 sister, but they're twins, so obviously you get one, you get the other, you know, unless something happens during the birthing and one of them dies. So, I guess Mion came out first. Rip. Yeah, it feels bad, for sure. So Mion came out first, so they declared her the heir and named her with the demon character, and then SHION happened, and it's just like, what is this? This is not the plan. Who are you? Who are you to disturb the plan? Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me. We're twins. There are no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named SHION. Yep. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. The mother's like, oops, my bad. Yeah, really. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day they created an undeniable clear distinction between Mion and SHION. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag and to learn how to become the successor, and I was to be confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objections to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel that having to learn about and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. I also don't want to be a mass murderer, so I'm not going to be a threat to the family even if I'm back in Okinomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. Ouch. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. I don't want to go there anyway. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okinomiya, where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't remember it much. And I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Okinomiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there.
沖宮の町へ帰れば親族の誰かの目に触れることになります。やがては必ず本家の知るところになります。
ばあさんの耳に入ったらどうなるかってこと？まあそりゃやばいことにはなるかもね。
お分かりならいいんですがね。
なーに、カサイ。あんた今から私に引き返してあそこへ戻れって言ってるわけ？
まさか。そんなことは言いませんよ。私が言いたいのは、
相応の覚悟はあるんだろうなってことでしょ。
口先だけでなく本当に理解してるんならいいんですがね。
まあそうだろうね。万が一の時は脱走の手伝いをしたカサイも責任は免れないだろうしね。カサイも小指に未練があるなら今のうちに小指にいっぱいキスをしておいた方がいいんじゃない？
Ouch.
その時はシオンさんもすまきにされて鬼が淵沼に放り込まれるくらいの覚悟をしてくださいよ。ああ、あるいは本家離れの秘密部屋送りかも。
To the torture what? Torture room? In the garden? I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. There definitely is a torture room, but I did not know it was in the garden. I've never seen it, though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there. It's just awful, really. I hope I don't end up as a victim of that place.
はいはい。ま、なんとかなるって。
つくづくシオンさんは姉さんに似ている。その出たとこ勝負的なところが特にです。
そりゃ似るでしょ。実際の母親だもん。
My dad and mom will be furious if they find out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza. He sure is. He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now. I also heard he has tons of scars. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle, though my dad took the lead in the end. Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. Whoa, that's a big dude. I can tell that from the way he acts. He's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and again. Kinda gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. It's not surprising that he's worried about my return to Okinomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up in a futon mat and thrown into the swamp for real, too. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. I'm not sure what year it is right now, but the general year that it takes place in is 83, I believe? I believe it's 83. If Nerd's still around, he'll correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to Okinomiya and nowhere else. So it's like the 80s, late 70s, early 80s is when generally most of this takes place. That's my hometown. This might be kind of homesickness, but I don't care what it looks like.
実際どうするつもりです？園崎一族の目はそこいら中にありますよ。
まあ、最初はのんびり隠れながら過ごします。
This visual novel is very old. It's just they have updated the graphics a lot over the
仮に
years.
姿を見られたってミヨンだって言い張ればいいんだしね。
それから
で、ほとぼりが冷めてきたら私に近しい親類から徐々に打ち明けていく。私に味方になってくれる人たちだってそこそこにいるからね。私も親父と大喧嘩した時、あちこちでいろんな人にかくまってもらったし。
なるほど。味方と既成事実を十分に作り上げてから最終的には園崎本家にもおめこぼしをもらおうというつもりですね。うまくいきますかどうか。
行くって。そもそも私を学園送りにする決定だって結構みんな反対してくれてたもんね。あれは私をやたらと嫌ったばあさんの猜疑心からの決定みたいなもんだったし。葛西もそう思うでしょ？
ええ、まあ私もあの決定にはさすがにやりすぎとは思いました。
ばあさんはあれこれ余計なこと考えすぎて正常な思考なんかできなくなってんの。あのダム戦争で神経張り詰めっぱなしだったからまだその時の興奮が抜けきってないんじゃないかな。ったく。
Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking. As I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway, Kasai spoke to me again.
シオンさん、ほら。
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishiban City." My hometown was coming right up. Ooh. What is this Studio Ghibli intro right here? This is adorable. Aww. That's such a vibe, yo. I love that. I love that! It's like every Ghibli movie ever is what it reminds me of. That's so cool! Okay, let's watch this tip. Sorry, I did not read what that was called. June 1982. Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Watanagashi festival. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. It is 83. The general events of this series take place in 83. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hadn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun had been living in dire circumstances. His close friends actually heard him imply he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible considering that aspect. But the police arrested another individual for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false. The last possibility is that he was involved in the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. So the question is, whose? The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the three families, or one of their many relatives. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it? How did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth. All are in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so that the tips of my fingers can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyashiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. If I was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl. Young girl. The notebook's beginning. Is it SHION writing all this? I'm so used to just having a save point. I forget every time I start a new game. You gotta have a new save point. So let's keep going. Chapter 2. AD 1982. The fourth year of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, also known as Oyashiro-sama's curse, 1 year prior to Keiichi Maebara's transfer. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain is half asleep, but I'm aware of that. Waking up at the same time as the chime would go off to school doesn't feel good. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. I can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. Yay, that's really positive. I feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks plain to me. Really doesn't feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. I especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai bring me some new clothes later. And I should think of redecorating this room. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Okinomiya. The property is a retailer of my dad's conglomerate, obtained after foreclosure due to some kind of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the exception of the manager and a scant 1 or 2 others, all the residents are shady-looking people connected to my dad. Probably won't be much longer before the virtuous residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room they'd use for viewings, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking in daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time, though.
むしろその方がいいよね。自分の部屋っていう実感が湧くし。
I nodded to myself. It might have looked stupid, but it helped psych me up. At the school, there was a TV only in the common room, and we weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. I zapped through all those channels as a form of emancipation. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on. But I enjoyed it anyway. Commercials are fun to watch. Kasai dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry.
シオンさん、おはようございます。
おはようございます。
昨夜はよく眠れましたか？
ソファーに毛布でゴロ寝は結構辛いです。やっぱ日本人はちゃんと布団敷いて床に寝ないとね。 たくあんが美味しい。
I don't like pickled anything.
それはよかった。後で必要なものを教えてください。
Also, radish is very, like, spicy to me.
可能な限り揃えるようにします。
ありがとう。あ、でもそんなに気を使わないでいいです。私の好きで始めた生活だし。葛西だってたかられたらお財布持たないでしょ。
I have to be serious about my plan. I can't let myself take advantage of Kasai's wallet forever.
バイトでもしようと思います。生活費くらいは自分で稼がないとね。
Oh, this is why she gets the job.
私が選んだ生活なんだ
Oh.
から自分で何とかするのは当然。
I was wondering, as a member of the Sonozakis, why she needed a job in the first place.
それはたくましい
But
限
that
りで
makes
す。
sense.
でもいいんで
Because
す
she
か？
went away from the plan.
外を歩けば
The plan that she
やが
was
ては
never a
親族の
part
誰
of
か
to
に見つ
begin
かりま
with.
すよ。
そこは少しは考えてある。そこでミオンの力がいるわけよ。葛西さ、本家に電話してもらっていい？ミオンが出たら受話器変わって。
Yes, I agree. The voice acting is fantastic.
やれやれ、何を企んでいるやら。
It's almost an ara-ara, but not quite.
どういう作戦ですか？
Kasai dialed the number. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment.
もしもし。
おはようございます。ミオンさんですか？ご無沙汰しています。葛西です。ええ。おはようございます。少しお待ちいただけますか？今受話器を代わります。
I take the handset.
私が誰だかわかります？その声は。でもそんなはずは。シオンの寮は使用電話禁止だったはず。
It doesn't even allow private calls? That's terrible. No wonder she wanted out of there.
そんなはずはない。学園では外部との電話は禁止だからね。それが電話してきたってことは血の巡りの悪いお姉でも意味がわかるでしょ。あんた学園抜け出したの？どうやって？そんなことはどうでもいい。会いたかったですよ、お姉。
Oh, nah. That was as far as I could take it, and Mion had her limit too. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. It's been a while since we laughed out loud with each other like this.
久しぶりだよ、シオン。あんた本当にどうしたの？どうしたもこうしたも。別に私は嘘吐いてないです。って、じゃああんた本当に脱走したの？やる。私を閉じ込めておくにはちょっと警備が甘かったかもね。学園はシオンが穏便に脱走したことに感謝するべきかもね。本気のシオンだったら全施設を爆破してから脱走するくらい朝飯前かも。爆破はできないけど放火くらいはやるかもね。
I might have set it on fire. Jesus. It's a little much. Kasei smiled at us in amazement, his face a blend of amusement and exasperation.
おね、今は電話大丈夫なの？大丈夫。ばっちゃんはお稽古に行っちゃってる。今日は帰りは夕方になるって言ってた。
So they seem like they don't get along most of the time, but right now they seem to be very close.
それは好都合。
So maybe something happened after that to make them very distant with each other.
近いうちに会って話をしましょうね。とりあえず今日のところは電話で。うん。本家に学園から私が脱走したっていう連絡は来てます？にゃ。
So something happened between the year of 82 and 83 that really drove them, like, apart as siblings.
来てない。
本家の電話も来客も全部私が通すから、私を素通りしてバッチャに連絡行くことはない。だから来てないって断言できると思う。
ほう、そりゃすごい。さすが園崎本家次期当主。
私はそんなの嫌だよ。シオンが変わってよ。
鬼がついてるのはお姉でしょ。まあせいぜい頑張ってください。陰ながら応援いたしております。まあそんなことはどうでもいいや。
すごい人事っぽい言い方だな。まあいいや。
私関連で何か動きがあったら葛西に連絡をよろです。ここの番号はお姉には教えてもいいかなと思うけど、しばらくは内緒にしときますね。ごめん。
そうだね。学園脱走したって話がバッチャの耳に入ったらいろいろ面倒になると思うよ。連絡の件は了解。何か動きがあったら葛西さんに伝えとく。
Well, she's a Sonozaki. Obviously, they're gonna find out.
あり
Like,
がとうです。それとあとお姉にお願いがあるんだけど。
そう来ると思った。あ、お金は無理だよ。
さすがにお金を無心できるとは思ってません。お姉にはちょっと私のバイトのお手伝いをお願いしたいんです。
なるほどね。そういうことか。で、具体的にはどうするの？
we can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into details because we know what's on each other's minds.
吉郎おじさん、私の味方だったじゃないですか。吉郎おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでバイトできないか打診してみます。で、シフトが決まったらお姉に連絡しますから。
あんたがバイトしてる時間帯には消えてりゃいいわけだね。
Oh, so this is why.
めんどくさい役だな。
Why, Keiichi thought that they were switching places. Because they wanted to make it seem like it was Mion the whole time.
何ですかお姉。双子の妹の頼みを断る？本当に？
いいよいいよ、引き受けるよ。あんたの頼みは断ると後が嫌だ。
サンキューです。今度シュランクベルタのケーキでもおごるから。可愛いタルト山ほど食べさせてあげますから。
あ、シオン、シュランクベルタね。去年の秋に店閉じちゃったんだよ。
え？あ、そうなんだ。
うん。
How dare they close?
マスターが脳梗塞で倒れてね。
Ouch.
退院してから
That's
一
terrible.
度は店を開けたんだけど、やっぱり体が持たないらしくてさ。惜しまれたけど閉店しちゃったわけ。
Oh, that sucks.
そっか。そりゃあ残念です。欲張りモンブランをお腹いっぱい食べる夢はもう夢のままで終
I've
わっちゃ
always
ったん
wanted
で
to
す
try a
ね。
Mont Blanc. I never have before. I was disappointed that my favorite cake shop had closed down, but more so that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable.
他にも変わったこと、私の知らないことある？
うん、いくつかある。
They're good. I've heard great things. I just don't know anywhere around here that actually sells them, so
今度会ったら全部話すね。
I'm not sure how to make one either,
ありがと
or
う。
if they're complicated.
私も学園で見てきたこと全部話しますね。
I'm a really bad baker. I'm pretty good at cooking if it's something like simple or you know, I don't know, like something that it just requires like putting all the ingredients together, that sort of thing. But for some reason baking to me is not the same. Like I cannot do that the same way I can cooking. I don't know why.
近いうちに機会を設けましょう。
Like I'll go to put a cake in the oven and it'll just spill out the side, or like
追ってこっちから連絡し
it'll
ます。
burn without me, you know, on the bottom, and I don't see it because the top is fine.
わかった。
ミオン、
何？
元気でやってる？
もちろん。
ならよかった。
Yeah, I'm a terrible baker.
じゃあね。
But it's fine. It's really been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kase brought in some tea.
結局どういう話になったんです
But
か
I can make a mean potato soup and a mean curry.
吉郎おじさん、私のことを可愛がっててくれたじゃない？おじさんにね、私が学園を抜け出してきたのを打ち明けようと思います。で、おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでささやかに働かせてもらえたらなって。
人目に触れますよ。吉郎さんはいいとしても他
そのためのお姉ってわけよ。私が働く時間が決まったらお姉に連絡する。で、お姉は私が働いている時間には
Where's she
ちょ
gonna
っと人目を忍
disappear
んでくれ
to,
ればいいわ
though?
け。わかる？
Kasai looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp.
つまり簡単。バイト中に私が何か咎められるようなことになったら、私がミオンだと言い張ればいい
This
だ
is
けの
why
話な
Keiichi
の。
was so freaking confused.
わかり？
And he really thought that was Mion at the shop for the longest time. Normal people wouldn't buy this kind of plan, but Kasai knows too well how easy it is for my sis and me to trade places.
つくづく大胆というか悪知恵が働くというかいやいや
もちろん褒め言葉だよね、笠井。
Also, it's pretty amazing that they happen to, like, get the same shift. She happens to get a stable shift every single time, because retail normally isn't like that. Kasai looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him, too. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he won't be able to get away with just a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him, since he helped me escape even without knowing that risk.
ああ、任せとけよ。シオンちゃんのことをどうのこうの言うやつがいたら、俺が少し締めとくから。
やっぱ吉郎おじさんは頼りになります。おじさんならきっと助けてくれると思ってました。
Uncle Yoshiro pounded his chest with his fist after offering me his assistance, or his assurance. Both are actually correct. He seemed glad that I turned to him first.
いいんだよ。俺はシオンちゃんの自分の生活費は自分で稼ぎたいっていう気概に感心してるんだ。金をたかりに来たんだったら本家に突き出してるところだぜ。
ああ、おじさん怖い。
I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help.
店長、シフト表持ってきました。ここに置きますね。
One of the store clerks brought out a work schedule. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with written on it.
で、シオンちゃんはどのくらい働けるんだい？
私とお姉の都合次第かな。できたら私の指定する日だけ入れるのが一番いいんですが。
That never works in retail.
おいおい、そんな虫のいいこと言うやつ面接じゃ会ったことないぜ。まあな、仕方ないもんな。
I'm depending on Mion for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yoshiro understood that. But I also knew he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket.
生活費が稼げればそれで OK です。
じゃあ、そういうことで頼むぜ。一応金を払うんだから仕事中はしっかり頼むぜ。あと事務所内じゃおじさんは勘弁な。
はいはい、分かってますよ。店長さん、ふつつか者ですけどよろしくお願いしますね。
こちらこそどうぞよろしく。
Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like in a prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. Apparently there were all kinds of rumors going around that the Saint Lucia Academy I was confined to, and everyone was curious about it. I added a few embellishments of my own as I explained how unordinary life of that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the little details about life in the secret garden for girls. Horny bastard. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all of these questions. I wanted to know if anything peculiar had happened while I was gone. I won't be able to act like Mion unless I can fill in the gap of information left in the past 2 years.
そんなに大きく変わったことはないな。ダム戦争が終わってからこっちはもうそりゃのんびりしたもんさ。
私はダムの計画中止が発表されて少ししてから学園に行ったからな。私がこっちにいた時はまだほんの少しピリピリしたムードが残ってましたよ。
中止発表の後の1年くらいは同盟も計画は凍結されただけで中止になったわけじゃないって言って神経質になってたんだけどな。翌年には解散式をやったよ。南沢の境内で大式典だった。それでダム戦争は本当に終わりだな。
じゃあ私が閉じ込められたすぐ後だ。
Imprisoned.
戦争も終わっちゃってみんなふぬけちゃった感じ？
シオンちゃんなんかはダム戦争は戦争ごっこみたいで楽しかったんじゃないか。子供たちが警察のお世話になるたびに引き取りに行っていろいろいじめられた大人の身にもなってくれよ。
まあ確かに否定はできないかな。私ら子供にとってはダム戦争はかなり遊べるイベントでしたし。
Uncle Yoshiro seemed exasperated at how differently kids and adults treated the conflict.
そういえばバラバラ殺人なんてのがありましたよね。
Oh yeah, there was that murder, wasn't it? Yeah, that murder, you know.
あのクソムカつく
That's
現
just
場
like-
監督の野郎がバラバラにされたやつ。
It's just like an afterthought, you know.
あれ確か犯人がまだ全員捕まってなかったですよね。
Shion's pretty okay. I really like the voice actor, which is the same as Mion, but it sounds so different.
捕まったんですか？
ああ、確か初犯がまだ捕まってねえんだよな。
As I said, she's probably my least favorite. I don't know. It's between her and Mion, to be honest. I can't choose between them, but
そうそう、確か捕まってないはず。
しかもひなみ沢の守り神お社様を祀る綿流しの番人ね。
interesting to play from her perspective, though.
当時お社様のたたりだって騒がれたのを覚えてます。あれ子供的には結構怖かったな。
ああ、お社様のたたりね。その翌年にも起きたんだよな。
そうそうあれも怖かったですね。何でしたっけ？ダムの賛成派の男が事故で死んだやつ。北条だっけ？しかもまたしてもお社様を祀る綿流しの日に。これはもうたたりしかありえない。
That's true. They did say that Hojo was a lot. You're in for an interesting time. Okay, fair enough.
あれは怖かったです。
I will hold you to that, Nert. I will definitely hold you to that.
うんうん。
I'm definitely interested. There was a lot. Oh. The blood. Okay. Alright. The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of the Watanagashi festival. That incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. Worse, part of his body was never found, which made it almost a ghost story amongst us. We suddenly believed that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. It didn't take long for the rumor of Oyashiro-sama's curse to become a topic of discussion among occult researchers and the like, considering the circumstantial factors. Even so, the rumor faded away after about a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Watanagashi purely as a festival. But the curse struck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Hinamizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a twip when they fell from the cliff. I'm not supposed to make a joke during a time like this, but I can't. When they fell from a cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. Technically, police were still searching for the wife's body. If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Oyashiro-sama's curse fell victim on the night of the Watanagashi festival. So the fuss over Oyashiro-sama's curse rose up again. Until then, Oyashiro-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just the name of the object of worship in the shrine, nothing more than that. I'd seen boys peeing on the archway, and I once stuck my hand into the offertory box. The existence of a god didn't matter much to us. But after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of a curse. We were all shaking in fear of Oyashiro-sama. Everybody suddenly became interested in the old stories about him, too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell. And we started genuinely believing in the tales of Oyashiro-sama's miracles, which any of us would have laughed away before. Oyashiro-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Enemies treading in Hinamizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defined the village was terribly vague. We were never allowed to leave Hinamizawa village. Was going to Okinomiya still safe? Was a single stop enough to be out? Was a 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Hinamizawa or Okinomiya, you were safe. And it was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. I know it's weird, but those rules were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed since I lived at a boarding school in such a remote area. I couldn't say it out loud because I felt embarrassed. But in fact, I was a little scared of the curse.
でさ、その翌年にも起こったんだよな。
Anybody would be in that situation. I mean, you're talking life or death here.
やっぱり2年連続ってのは結構きますよね。私は今でもお社様は信じてるな。
シオンちゃん、2年なんてもんじゃないよ。知らないの？
知らないですよ。何の話？
そっか。シオンちゃんはあれの直前に学園に行っちゃったんだもんな。知らないよな。
Uncle Yoshiro grimaced as if he had said too much. As though he'd mentioned something I should know about.
何おじさん。そこまで話を振っておいて急に黙られると面白くないですよ。
まあ、シオンちゃんももう小さい子じゃないもんな。
おじさん、私を見てまだ小さい子供っていうのなら、眼科行くか回し蹴り食らうかのどちらかを選んでもらうことになるんですけど。
もう分かったよ。別に隠しゃしないよ。あったんだよ、その後も。
あったって？おじさん、さっきから何の話？
Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived inside me was giving me a warning, like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents called me, they'd always either chide me or tell me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it, but my senses seemed to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there.
実は賛成派の北条が転落事故で死んだ次の年にもな。つまりは去年なんだが、またあったんだよ。
あったって、また綿流しの日に3年連続でまた？
そうなんだよ。ほら、ひなみ沢の神社あるよな。古出神社。あそこの神主が祭りの夜に突然ぽっくりいっちまってよ。
It's true.
聞いた話じゃ原因不明の奇病で急死したとかしないとか。それもまたしても綿流しの夜に。で、神さんもその晩のうちに沼に飛び込んじまって、村長たちが集まっててんやわんやの。
This be true.
うん。奇病ってのはおひれだと思うけどね。急死したってのは本当。神主さんは綿流しの準備で大変だったと思うし、あの頃は少し体調崩してたみたいだからね。急性心不全とかそういう感じのよくあるやつだったんだと私は思ってるけどね。でも綿流しの日にってのが異常でしょ。それも3年連続で。普通に考えたら人の死がこうも同じ日に重なるなんてことは考えられない。警察も検視したみたいだけど、その後に特に騒がなかったってことは 死因に不審な点はなかったってことじゃないの？まあでもシオンの言う通り、人の死が3年も続いて綿流しの日に重なるとやっぱり普通じゃないって思うね。それにさっきお姉も言った通り、お社様にたたられそうな人ばかり開始する。これは絶対に何かあります。たたりでも陰謀でも、とにかく絶対裏に何か因果関係がある。
I decided to meet up with Mion at the library near the Okinomiya train station. Okay, bye Dylan. Thanks so much for subscribing. Thanks for coming. I'll see you later. Have a good day. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. Not many people use this library, so I won't see anyone from Hinamizawa here. It's very convenient for meeting someone in secret. After we discussed my life plan and work schedule, we moved to small talk. Been away from this town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about those changes in detail, in order to fill the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Yoshiro had told me about Oyashiro-sama's curse. Even before I left town, the curse had already struck twice. The dismemberment murder on the first year left quite an impact. And the year after, the pro-dam activist couple fell off the cliff. On the day the villagers were enjoying their first Watanagashi festival since the dam project was indefinitely frozen. This one also left quite the impact. The evil construction site manager was punished, and the next year the traitor to the village met the same fate. If it had only happened once, people would have concluded that it was just a bizarre coincidence. But when it happened 2 years in a row, people were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I know up to that part. And after I left town, the curse struck again for the 3rd time. People talked about the curse more intensely than ever, both in Hinamizawa and Okinomiya. I have to rethink this. Oyashiro-sama's curse had drastically gained credibility while I was away. It was still unclear with the first 2 incidents. But after it continued for 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Even though the priest who died on the 3rd year wasn't an enemy of the villagers, the fact that people in Hinamizawa didn't care for him much added even more credibility to the idea. Oh,
嫌われてませんでした？
there's Mion.
同盟の役員から。日和見主義なんじゃないかって叩かれてたね。戦争末期は同盟内でも過激な理論がまかり通ってたから。神主さんの穏健な態度はそういう人たちにとって気に食わないものだったと思うね。
The priest had looked strict and scary. The way he spoke was always so formal. But in reality, he was very warm and reserved. Maybe it was because he was a son-in-law, having married into his family. I'm sure the priest and his personality were the perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for summer festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot-style atmosphere of the shrine changed completely when the dam was broke out and it became the headquarters for the Onigafuchi Guardians. Prior to the dam protests, hardly anyone worshipped Oyashiro-sama. Of course, the devout elders paid worship to him, but the average person treated our god like how you'd treat fortune-telling. Once the dam protests began, Oyashiro-sama was suddenly hauled out as the symbol of the village's resistance. Tracing the Oyashiro-sama faith back to its roots, it was an exclusive, elitist faith that believed its members were descended from a holy ancestor, different from the masses at the foot of the mountain, and that those tainted masses should never come near the village. Of course, such self-centered ideology wasn't acceptable anymore in peaceful post-war Japan, so this doctrine was abandoned over time. Still, that idea remained, and they trudged it back up to fan the flames of nationalism and unite the town against the dam project. With the revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day, and it didn't take very long for the Onigafushi Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war. 100 million burning as one, kill the white savages, want naught but victory. Adults and kids both were gnawing at the bit, avid to repel the foreign invaders. Describing it like that makes it sound kind of awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids, it felt like a war and felt less like a war and more like a village-wide festival. Yet despite calling it a festival, dissenters were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up the expression wartime regime. The Hojo couple who voiced their acceptance of the dam project in the midst of that atmosphere were truly brave. Then on the second year of the curse they died in an accident, and everyone believed it was Oyashiro-sama's curse without question. So they were branded traitors and enemies of the village. The Hojo couple faced worse than just being ostracized as traitors. Everyone gave them the cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only person who didn't treat them badly was the priest. While the priest never objected to the anti-dam movement, he also never objected to the Hojo couple's advocacy for accepting the government's eviction and restitution to rebuild new lives. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan of the three families, especially the Sonozakis, united the village by turning them into scapegoats. So they must have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve of that, especially when it was the priest of the shrine that had become a symbol for the dam protests. As central figures in Hinamizawa, the three families were the backbones of the Onagafuchi Guardians, so a difference of opinion was undesirable. And the priest was never accused of anything. But secretly, people whispered that he was a heretic, that he was unfit to serve as Oyashiro-sama's priest, that Oyashiro-sama's curse would soon strike him down, along with other rumors.
今にして考えると、神主さんって結構大人だったのかもねって思いません?
The priest was a pretty chill dude, from what I remember. He was pretty cool, managing to keep his head and remain neutral while everyone around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in. So when Mion gave me a forced smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise.
本当に大人だったら、あそこは周りに合わせて強調すべきところだったと思うね。フルデのおじさんは単に神社の神主だっただけじゃなく、仮にも御三家の一つ、フルデ家の長だったんだからさ。
Exactly what a Sotozaki, head would say.
南沢全体が結束しなくちゃならないときに、模範となるべき御三家の人間が自分から輪を乱すのは、それが大人と呼べるかどうかは、私には難しいな。
I was taken aback. I barely managed to say the following. Even though we're identical twins, we still had our own unique identities. Every now and again our opinions differed, but usually over some trivial matter. We've never had a difference of opinion this big. It wasn't an enjoyable feeling. I decided to probe her some more.
お姉の言う協調って言葉がなんだか好きじゃないんですけど、つまりそれって何？村全体を考えて神主さんは自分の考えを隠しているべきだったって、そういう話？要するに全体主義の中でこう主張するな。別にそこまでは言わないけど、ただやっぱり御三家の長の一人なんだから、もう少し言動は慎重にしてもよかったんじゃないかって、そういうことだよ。
Mion faltered a bit, as my tone grew more like a cross-examination. I realized I was speaking a bit too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably the more mature opinion on our scale. When everyone needs to work together to stand up to a vast enemy like the government, people should refrain from actions that would destabilize that alliance. Writing it out and reading it now, I can understand that. But I wasn't mature enough to agree to such a totalitarian idea. Or maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who had made that mature judgment. We've been separated for over a year. I've been away from the town. In the meantime, Mion has been training to take over the headship of the Sonozaki family. She'd been treated as such even before I was confined to that institution. She sat next to the hag in ceremonies and in meetings. She took her place when the hag was absent. But that was just it. We were never that different. Mion has become very like a successor since I've been gone.
お姉もいつの間にか大人になっちゃいましたね。
She seemed to get what I was implying.
やっぱり私もバッチャみたいな考え方になっちゃってきたかな。いいじゃないですか。お姉は次期当主なんだから、いつまでも下々と同じ考え方じゃまずいでしょ。さすが帝王学を学んだだけのことはある。そんなの学んでないよ。どうやればバッチャのふりができるかってそれだけだよ。シオンにだって簡単にできるよ。そんなのやりたくないです。ばあさんのおもりはミオンのお役目。ま、疲れない程度にほどほどに頑張りなさいませ。
I didn't mean to be cold, but Mion seemed to take it that way. She smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled gently back at her.
お姉？ミオン？何？確かに私たちの別離はいつも穏便じゃなかった。名前を引き離され、住まいを引き離され、そして体を引き離された時もいつもね。
Mion looked down with a serious face, but then looked right back up.
あんたは私がそのあたりで逆恨みしてるんじゃないかって思ってるかもしれない。でもそれは誤解。そりゃ確かに確執はあったよ。でもそんなのは時間で流れる程度のもの。あんたが引け目を感じるようなことは何もない。
Up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by the grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little. There's no denying that. But we don't have to start a disagreement over it. Mion seems to understand what I'm trying to say. We each have our own characteristics, even though we're identical twins. Only we know the differences. We're also dependent on each other because of them. Mion seems more dependent. She always worries about me. If somebody gave her a cookie, she'd divide it in two and give one half to me. If somebody gave her a candy, she'd wait until I said it was okay to eat it. On the contrary, I'm cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. I'd put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her, and I'm well aware that she loves me. We both know that. Mion must have been hesitating to put the candy of the successor in her mouth and was waiting to see if I was okay with that.
頑張れ、ミオン。私もシオンを頑張る。
I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Aww. Mion put her forehead against my fist as if trying to feel the warmth. She's Mion, and I'm Shion. She's the successor of the Sonozaki family, and I'm just a vagabond. This isn't a distinction, but rather our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the other anymore. We should feel relaxed living as who we are, with our own characteristics. I didn't have to say any of that out loud. We can communicate by touch, just like this.
ありがとう。シオン、頑張ろう、ミオン。困ったことがあったらいつでも相談して。私たちはいつだってそうやってきた。それはこれからも何も変わらないよ。
Mion kept nodding, with her forehead against my fist. Oh, that's really sweet. I said goodbye to Mion before it turned to evening. We had talked about the things that happened during my time away, and I enjoyed having the chat between sisters very much. We were able to dissolve our unsettled emotions. We didn't used to do that. Maybe it's because we hadn't seen each other for over a year. It was late afternoon. My heart felt lighter now. I stretched and looked up at the sky. The sky was clear, blue, and far away. No matter how tall I grow, I'll never be able to touch that sky. I'm SHION Sonozaki, a girl who escaped from the life she was forced to live. Nobody will praise me for what I did and for what I'm going to do. But this is what I chose.
なんだ。私だって大人な考え方できるじゃない。
I psyched myself up. I should go shopping for dinner. Though I have Kasai's help, I need to save money. I love junk food, but it'd be cheaper to cook. Ironically, the culinary classes from that evil school will come in handy. Why not go to the shopping district in Kami-Ishiki? If I'm going there, then I need to take the other street. The cool breeze in the late afternoon felt nice on my skin. Kasai came to the door when I was putting stuff I bought into the fridge.
あ、待って待って。今鍵開けます。
お買い物の帰りですか？
Aw, there's a cute little teddy bear. And a little bunny. And a little fish. Oh, there's a fishy welcome mat. That's so cute.
お疲れ様です。
買い物程度で疲れてちゃたまんないよ。
I need like a wolf welcome mat.
あ、葛西も食べてく？一人者にはスーパーの野菜の単位は大きすぎだしね。
よろしいんですか？
Kasei looks like 3 people in a suit. That's fair.
ご厄介になってもいいものでしたら。
That's what I was saying. I said, he's a pretty big guy. Kasei looked curious about what I'd cook.
その顔は全然信じてないな。見てろ。
これらは冷蔵庫でいいんですか？入れておきますよ。
あ、悪いね。2人分だとお米はこのくらいかな。よっこらしょっと。
Kasei skillfully packed food in the fridge while glancing at each item in turn. He noticed something.
シオンさん、相変わらず缶詰はダメなんですか？
I hadn't bought any. That was, of course, on purpose.
缶詰を避けての買い物はいろいろ大変でしょう。
理屈じゃ分かってんだけどね。無理強いされりゃ食べないこともないけど。それでも私はやっぱりパスだな。
悪かったと思ってます。少しふざけすぎたと思ってますよ。だからそろそろあんなくだらない話忘れてくださってもいいのに。
ああ、もううっさいな。男が厨房にチャラチャラ出入りしない。テレビでも見てておとなしくしててよ。
Ouch. That's toxic masculinity, SHION. Men can be in the kitchen if they want to. And females can be in the kitchen if they want to. And non-binaries can be in the kitchen if they want to. Anyone is allowed in the kitchen at any time, okay? Heather has decreed. Bang the gavel. It is allowed. Kasai chuckled and left. Pets are allowed in the kitchen if they don't eat the food. I know this sounds stupid, but I hate canned food. If somebody told me there was canned food in a meal I just ate, I'd throw up. I mean, my cats sit on the little bar stools we have at our kitchen counter. We have no choice in this matter, they just do it. It started with a silly thing. Kasai told me a horror story when I was little. We don't let them on the counter, but they sit at the bar stools, like, next to the counter. Because they like to smell the food as we're making it. But they don't get their fur in the food. I don't think I've ever had fur in my food. But yes, I do have pets. I do have pats and pets in the kitchen. The only pet I don't have in the kitchen is my turtle, because he's downstairs. You know, one of those urban legends about meat made from an unknown source. Like those rumors about how there's worm meat mixed into burger patties or dog meat in beef bowls. Kase had fun telling me one of those ghost stories because of how scared I got. He had fun, but I obviously didn't. I even started to cry in the canned food section of a supermarket. That's how much I hated it. I don't freak out like that anymore. But I still don't like canned food. Since I don't like it, I don't force myself, and I now live my life naturally avoiding canned food. Cat food. Naturally avoiding cat food. One of the big differences between us twins is that Mion doesn't have this issue. Kase feels responsible for this, but he can't rid me of that fear. Still, a flaw like this is actually a good thing, otherwise I'd be too perfect. Uh-huh. Ah ha 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 ha. Himedare laugh.
葛西、机の上の新聞どけて。
いい匂いですね。
She really is like that, though. She acts like she's a freaking princess.
ごちそうになります。
Even though she's actually the one that, like, has been tossed away in a, you know, matter of perspective.
量が足りないと思ったら、あとは勝手に牛丼屋さんにでも行くこと。あ、テレビは切らないで。私は静かな食卓ってやつが苦手だから。
では、いただきます。
いただきます。
で、葛西何の用だったの？何か用事があってきたんでしょ？
I handed him a cup of tea. I could wait until dinner was over, but I wanted to get to the point quick.
食事が終わってからの方がいいかと思ってましたが、食べながらにしますか？
Ooh, I don't know. Do I want him to talk?
葛西が来た時点でずっと何の用か気になってるか
I
ら。
have a feeling he's not gonna say something that I want to hear.
先に言ってくれた方がご飯の通りが良くていいかもです。
自宅に学園から電話が今日ありました。
今日そりゃ遅いね。よっぽど表沙汰にしたくなかったと見えるな。で、どうなったの？
電話は茜さんが取りました。親父さんには後で折を見て話すそうです。
Akane-san is my mom. That's what Kasai calls her, as he's known her since before her marriage.
で、母さんなんか言ってた？
I was lucky she answered the phone, since she's relatively on my side.
仕方のないやつだと漏らし、こういう結果も決して予想外ではなかったような顔つきでしたね。
親父にはまだ知らせてないんだ。
茜さんなりにタイミングを測っているんでしょう。多分 2,3 日中には話すものと思います。
親父はばあさん寄りだからな。耳に入れば自動的にあいつにも伝えるだろうな。で、伝わったら見つけ次第即刻ここへ連れてこい。申し開きの意見によっては指の1本や2本ってことになるだろうね。
Ouch.
おっかないこって。
If I remember correctly, in the anime, she loses a couple fingernails.
笑い事で済めばいいんですがね。
I'm not sure if it's the same in the visual novel, but
シオンさんの指だけじゃ済まないかもしれないってとこだけよくお願いしますよ。
but I don't know the context, so
あちちち。
it really doesn't matter. I just remember it being traumatic.
がっつくからだよ。あ、ちなみに味噌汁もご飯も作りすぎてるからおかわりは強制ね。
Always better to cook more because you can always have like leftovers later, you know?
3杯は絶対食べること。
A few days later, Mion told me that the hag had heard about my escape.
で、ばあさんはどんな感じだった？
バッチャはカンカンでさ、もしも沖宮界隈に帰ってきてるなら即刻見つけ次第自分の前に引っ立てろってさ。
怖っ。で、実際に親父とかの動向は？
近々の親族会議でシオンをかくまってないか問いただすみたいだね。でも若いのに街中を探させるとかそういう真似はしないみたいだよ。
Holding a family council means that things will remain in the hag's hands alone. She won't search the town for me. It's like she's unofficially approving my presence. Of course, I'll get caught immediately if they find me in a large public place.
母さんが随分暗躍してくれたみたいだね。
I can tell she's being supportive. It's a long story, but my mom is sort of an outlaw, even though she's of the Sonozaki bloodline. A long time ago, she had a huge fight with the hag because she hated the family rules and traditions. She was even excommunicated. My mom was supposed to be the successor, but she was deprived of the title and Sis took her place instead. While she's quiet now, Mom's still an outlaw. She's always been on my side because I also hate rules and traditions.
親父、最初はすっごくカンカンだったらしいよ。母さんがだいぶなだめたらしい。何のかんの言っても、親父は最後には母さんには勝てないからね。
オッケー、ありがとう。また何かあったら教えてね。本当にヤバくなったら、私もこの町を離れるつもりだから。葛西とか吉郎おじさんとか、それに母さんとか、世話になった人の顔は潰せないからね。おねえ、あんたが今何を考えてるかわかりますよ。どうして同じ血を分けた姉妹なのに、シオンだけこんな隠れるように生活しなきゃならないのか、でしょ？
Mion was silent. That meant yes.
シオンだけこんな窮屈な思いをするのはフェアじゃないよ。絶対。
ありがとう。気持ちだけでも嬉しいです。おね。
表に出たい時とかあったら相談して。シオンがいつでもミオンになれるよう協力するからさ。
She sounded apologetic. I shouldn't go quiet or agree with her. She sticks to things a little too much. Once she goes down, she'll stay there for a while. So I just told her simply.
ありがとう。実はそれが一番ありがたいです。じゃあ切りますね。
Alright, you two. Why do my cats have to fight with each other, man?
じゃあね。またね。
Quit. Come here. Why don't you sit in my lap again? You silly baby. Come here. Ooh, come here. Oof. There you go. All is safe and well. Ah. Sorry. I'm sorry. You're fine, babe. You're fine. The cat's freaking out. You're fine. Interesting. Oh. Thank you, FH Duo was taken for the follow. Very long and interesting username. A smudge diary. Satoko was crying while hiding behind my back. Oh, it's Han. Okay, yeah, I saw that you recently followed. How are you? Thank you for the follow on both Twitter and Twitch now. She's been crying while clinging on to me, so my back was wet with her tears and snot. My aunt had been screaming hysterically, but she looked tired now. I suddenly realized that it was already past 1 in the morning. She vomited out a series of screams one last time, then finally called it quits. Aww, poor Satoko. Satoko seemed exhausted. She was looking down in a state of shock. The Twitch username is a long story. You're changing it. Okay, that's fair. You do whatever makes you happy, you know? Even after my aunt walked away, she didn't realize she had been freed. So I stroked her head and told her,
終わったよ。Satoko.
Oh. Satoko twitched. Oh, these are Satoshi's diaries. Her eyes grew bright again and tears rolled down her cheeks. She looked up at my face. Please don't cry. No, stop. Don't remind me. She knew it was over, but wanted to hear it directly from me. She begged me with a look. To be honest, I was really exhausted, too. So I felt a bit annoyed when she tried to make me say it. But I needed to pacify her. So I gently told her what she wanted to hear. Oh, Cat climbed on my keyboard. The bitch. Satoko clung to me while her tears continued to fall. She was crying again silently. Satoko was shivering pitifully. Her small back reminded me that there was nobody else to protect her. Now you have miserable Satoko screenshots, apparently. Thanks, Cat. Welcome. The cat just wanted to be a part of stream too, you know? Satoko smiled faintly and nodded. I felt dizzy. As I was released from the strain, a harsh drowsiness fell upon me. While Satoko was washing her face, I went to the toilet. I zoned out while watching my pee. In my dizziness, I almost missed the shot. I felt like I was being sucked into the toilet. What is this? I couldn't even remember what caused it. The toilet monster! Why did my aunt start screaming today? Okay, interesting. I don't know why the toilet stuff was necessary, but okay. Fair enough. So those are Satoshi's diaries. Interesting. Also, I don't like that symbol up there. That's an interesting symbol. Can I find the Satoko screenshots? Sure. I probably could. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Alright. We're gonna end stream here. So let me find someone to raid today. Okay. We've got Minty Yuki May to raid again. She is precious. Please go say hi to her. I will be playing Higurashi again. I'm very interested, as I always am, in Higurashi. So I will be playing this again probably next week. So never fear. Higurashi Tuesdays will continue as long as I, can. So, thanks everybody so much. Thanks Rennie for the raid. Thanks Little Cat for the raid. Thank you Dylan for the subscribe. Thank you for the follows. Sugar Madness and FH Duo. I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody so much for watching and lurking and everything. So, thanks everybody so much. I will see you all very soon. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, so see you all very soon. Bye!